Okay, so butter chicken curry. So what I use is boneless, skinless chicken thighs. You can use chicken breast. I just find that chicken breast is a little drier and it gets really tough. Chicken thighs, however, are not only are they cheaper, but they stay a lot more tender, and you can like cook them forever, and they just get more tender. Like you can't overcook chicken thighs. So I just buy this little package. You can see this was $5.12 at the commissary, and all I'm going to do is like cut them into small bite-sized pieces, and I trim off all the white, the fat, because I don't like that. Some people like it, I don't. So I'm just going to cut these into bite-sized pieces, and then I'll show you what to do next. So I just diced up the chicken thighs, and now, so if you make the naan, so I already made the naan dough. I just followed that recipe from Chef John. So it says in the recipe to use a quarter cup of plain Greek yogurt. So I use, which way do I go? Boy, that way. Chobani, non-fat, plain, just Greek yogurt. The whole thing is a half a cup. So I use half of this container in the naan dough. And then in the other half of it, so it doesn't go to waste, let me see if I can do this here. Plop, I put it in the chicken. Okay. Now, if you buy naan and you don't make your own, you just buy it, which I do that sometimes too. No shame in that game. You don't have to add the yogurt. It's fine without it. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. But if I have the container and I've made my own naan and I use half of it in the naan, I use the other half in here, and it like just adds a little something to the chicken. Whatever. Okay, so to this, I'm going to marinate the chicken now. So to this, so let me show you something. Okay. I have a lot of stuff because I cook Indian a lot. And so I had ordered all these extra seasonings. I have tandoori masala, I have Kashmiri chili powder, I have garam masala, whatever. The commissary carries this. Plain old curry powder. Walmart has it, commissary has it. You can use this. This is fine. And you know what else you can do? You cannot do any of it. You can literally just saute your chicken for a couple of minutes in the pan, dump in your sauce, swirl it around, cook it for like 30 minutes, and you're done. But if you want to be extra, you want to like make it whatever. It probably all tastes the same. I don't know. You can do the yogurt and the seasoning. So I have this plain curry powder. I don't measure. I just add it, whatever. I'm just going to add some of this. And because, like, probably like a tablespoon, and because I have all these extra seasonings, I'm just going to add them, right? Like, why not? So I'm going to add some of that. I'm going to add some of that. And I'm going to add some of that, whatever. Okay. And now you're just going to, like, mix all this up to coat the chicken. Cover it with saran wrap, plastic wrap, and stick it in the fridge until, you know, you're ready to eat. If you're ready to eat right now, you can just throw it right in the pan. We're not ready to eat yet because it's only 1:20 in the afternoon. So I'm just prepping it early and getting it ready for dinner. So I'm just gonna like mix it all together, cover it with plastic wrap, and stick it in the fridge until dinner. Because once you get to this point, like when you're ready to eat, like at this point, you're like 30 minutes away from dinner. So that's when you like want to make your rice, if you want rice with your butter chicken, or if you want to start cooking the naan when you're ready to put this in the pan. So about 30 minutes. All right, I'll be back. Carolina wanted to say hi. She just woke up. It's been a really rough day. She woke up, she ate breakfast, and then she took a nap, and then she just woke up again. So she's had a rough day. So it's the next day. We ended up not having the butter chicken last night because we had a lot of leftovers from the night before. So it's the next day. I just stuck the chicken in the fridge, and I stuck the naan dough also in the fridge. And so I just took the naan dough out. It's 120 right now to come to room temperature for a couple hours. And now I'm going to cook the chicken, and so I'll show you how we do that. So I'm just cooking it in like a heavy bottomed like skillet. Any like kind of good sized skillet that you have is fine. You might want one with a lid only because while it's like simmering on the stove, sometimes it like splatters and it kind of makes a mess. So sometimes I just kind of like partially cover it when it's cooking on low, just to keep it from like making a mess. So I have like, I don't know, it's room temperature now, but 2 tablespoons of butter in the skillet. And then I'm just gonna melt the butter and add the chicken and just saute the chicken with all the marinade and everything if you're using it. If you didn't use any marinade, like the yogurt and the spices, it doesn't make any difference. Just melt the butter in here and then saute the chicken till it's like halfway cooked, whatever. It doesn't really matter, honestly, because it's gonna finish cooking in the sauce. So just, once the butter is melted, we'll start sauteing. So the butter is melted in the skillet. This is my chicken that marinated overnight in the fridge. Like I said, normally I don't marinate it overnight, but we just didn't eat it yesterday. So I'm just dumping all the chicken in. Let me see if I can lift this up so you can see it. Oh, there we go. And so basically I'm just gonna cook this in that melted butter until, like I said, it's like kind of browned on every side or like halfway cooked. And then I'm gonna dump in my butter chicken sauce, which is, I have it right here. Today I'm just using 3 jars of this today. So I have 3 jars of that, and the commissary had this. So just for a little extra flavor, I'm just gonna dump this in as well. You don't have to do that if you want it to. I don't know. You can, but you don't have to. I'm gonna dump this in once the chicken's almost done. Dump this in, stir it, and then like just let it simmer on low till we're ready to eat, basically. So I'll show you what that looks like. In addition to the naan, I like to cook rice as well. Basmati is the traditional rice that you cook with Indian food, but you can really just use any rice. Sometimes I use sushi rice, sometimes jasmine rice, but I have basmati, so I'm gonna cook that, and you just follow the package directions. I have a rice cooker, so I cook it in that, but basically you just do the directions are on the back. So you could do rice and naan, just rice, or just naan with it, whatever. Chicken looks like that. As you can see, so it's not cooked all the way through, it's still raw in the middle, but it's like halfway cooked, probably like not even halfway cooked, it's probably like 25% cooked. So I'm just gonna turn the heat down a little bit to like medium low, add in my butter chicken sauce now, stir it, and then just let it simmer and chill for a little bit. I'll show you that. Added the jars of this, and now I'm just going to add this, and I basically just dump it in here. Just squeeze out the packet. Like, you can cook it in the microwave if you were just going to eat this by itself over rice or something, but since I'm cooking it in the sauce, I'm not cooking it and then putting it in the sauce, if you know what I mean. Like, I'm just adding it in there. So I just added all 3 jars of the butter chicken and that packet of chana masala. So I'm just going to stir it, and then there is usually a lot of remnants left in the jar, so you can either add a little bit of water, like by a little bit I mean like that much, milk, or heavy cream if you have it. I use heavy cream just because it makes it creamier. If you don't have that, you could use a little bit of milk or just a little bit of water. It's fine, not too much, like maybe just like I said, that much. And what I do is I fill it up with a little bit of the liquid, and then I put the lid back on it and shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it. Pour it into the other jar, shake it, shake it, shake it. Pour it into the other jar, shake it, shake it, shake it, and then add it in here. And that just gets like any of the remnants that are still in the bottom of that, because I don't like anything to go to waste, because I'm cheap. Okay, so I thought I was just recording that entire time, and I wasn't. So I added the jars with the heavy cream in it. So I filled up the jar with heavy cream to like right here, and I shook each one, and then I transferred it like into each one, shook them all up, added it, and then I just stirred it, and literally that's it. So it's as you can see, it's done. Like that's it. So basically you just let it simmer here on the stove at like a really low simmer. Like basically you don't want it boiling, you just want to see like bubbles every once in a while. And that's where the lid, if you have one, comes in handy, so it's not like making a mess all over your stove. But you do that for about 30 minutes until the chicken is cooked, and then after that you can just turn it on low and keep it on your stove till you're ready to eat. It could be an hour from now, it could be 3 hours from now. Just make sure it doesn't boil, because if it boils on there like too high, it doesn't, the texture of the butter chicken changes. It's fine, you can eat it, it just isn't as good. So you can serve it over rice, you can serve it with your naan, both, one or the other. But that's it. Like it is literally done now till dinner time. So the only thing that I do is right before we serve it is, because it's butter chicken, is I take like a tablespoon, like a little pat of butter, add it, and stir it in until it's melted. That's it. And obviously taste it, see if you like the taste of it. You can always add more cream or milk if you like it more creamy. But yeah, I'll cook the naan. I'll show you how I cook the naan when it's almost dinner time, and I'll show you everything all put together. Same day, just later in the day. I was working in the garden, so I had to get a shower. But anyway, you can see here, hold on, kind of. I made the naan dough yesterday. We didn't eat yesterday, so I put it in the fridge overnight. So I just separated it into 6 dough balls a little while ago, and kind of rolled them into balls. So you just kind of go like that, and then like that. And then I just covered them up with a towel so that they can just hang out until I'm ready to cook them, which I'm getting ready to cook them. So I have over here, I have my cast iron skillet. Really, you could probably use any any skillet that's big enough to fit, or if you only have small skillets, if you only have a small skillet, you could probably just divide your naan dough into smaller pieces, so that way you have a bunch of small naans instead of like 6 bigger naans, or however many you want. They don't have to, they can be any size that you want. You can make them like bite size just for dipping into the butter chicken. But I'm going to start rolling them out and cooking the naan. So let me start doing that, and I'll meet you back here. I just forgot to mention, you want to start your pan that you're going to cook the naan in. You want to start heating that up about, and let it get nice and hot, like on a medium heat for a few minutes before you add your naan, because you want your pan to be hot when you put the naan in, so it starts cooking immediately. So I have a rolling pin. If you don't have a rolling pin, you could use like, I don't know, any kind of round bottle or something just to roll with. Or if you don't have any of that, you could just flatten it as much as possible, like with your hands and just like stretch it out nice and thin with your hands, you know. But I have a rolling pin, so what I do is I just like put it down, no flour or anything on the counter, and basically I just let's see if I can get that way. Don't care at all about the shape or whatever, because I basically just rip it into pieces to dip into my curry anyway. So I don't really care if it's like a perfect oval or if it's like janky. So basically you just roll it out, kind of just nice and thin. You can see it's not very thick at all. And then as soon as the pan is heated up, no oil, nothing in the pan, you just drop it in there and then wait a few minutes and then flip it. And then I have the curry warming up here on the stove, or staying warm on the stove. So, and I cooked my rice in the rice cooker, so we are almost ready to eat. So my pan has been heating up for a couple of minutes here. So I'm gonna drop the first naan into the pan, and I also want to note that I have a tiny bit of butter, melted butter, here on the stove. So once the naan is done, I just take a brush and I just brush on the melted butter on top of it. And again, optional step. You don't have to do that. But my pan's nice and hot, so I'm gonna grab that first naan dough here, right? Give it a little stretch and straight into the pan. Okay, now you just leave it for a few minutes. I find that naan is almost identical to pancakes, meaning the first one never turns out like as good as the other ones for some reason. So you know that first one is kind of like the sacrificial lamb. So I usually pick the tiniest dough ball for that one to be my first one. So we'll just let it go for a couple of minutes. If your pan is super non-stick, don't use stainless steel, I don't think. I've never tried it, but I wouldn't use stainless steel. But so if your pan though is like really non-stick, you might want to brush a light coat of vegetable oil on the bottom. But most pans have enough of a non-stick property that it should be fine. Like, so again, we're just gonna let it cook. And you'll see, like, see it moves, like, it doesn't stick or anything. Like, it's fine. So you can just flip it over. I just use tongs. And you can see there's the first side. I'm just gonna let the second side cook for a couple minutes. I'm gonna grab my little brush here to dip into the butter and just brush it on the naan when it comes out. So it doesn't take long. Each naan only takes a couple minutes per side. So like this one's just almost done. If you like it a little bit more charred, leave it on a little longer. If you like it a little blonder and lighter, you can take it off a little earlier. But I mean, this is it. Like 1 or 2 minutes per side, brush with melted butter, rinse and repeat with all of your dough balls. And that's it. So here is the first naan. You can see, looks pretty good for the first one too. Usually the first one is the worst one. So I'm just gonna dip my brush into a little melted butter and lightly brush the surface of the naan with the melted butter. And then that's it. We're just gonna keep going until we've cooked all the naan. And then I'm gonna add, like I said, into the curry here, a pat of butter right before we eat. Stir that around, and that is it. We'll be ready to eat. So I just added the pat of butter into the curry, and the naan is cooking. So there's the one side. Flip it over, and we are almost done. I forgot to mention it earlier. The garlic naan recipe that I use is Chef John from foodwishes.com for his garlic naan, and I'll link it in the description below. So it's the only recipe I use.
Military medical,
so there's the naan.
and even if something really bad happened to me.
Final product, we have the rice, the butter chicken, and the naan, and that's it.